Hey everybody, Tom Tezak with the third quarter market report for here on Maui, and this is third quarter versus third quarter from 2024, and it's a bit ugly. Bear with me as we go through the stats. So real estate here on the island of Maui, overall on the whole island, the median home price sits right at about 1.3 million, stay about stable from where it was a year ago, so very little change in that. But what's interesting is the average days on market has gone up dramatically overall for all the property categories on the island. For condos, it's been pretty tough and actually much more difficult on parts of the island in South Maui and West Maui. But let's talk about overall sales volume is down 25% and the median prices are off 23% down to $702,000. So substantial impact that's, I think, the mayor's proposal, Bill 9, is having on condo sales. Both vacation rental condo sales as well as the residential condo sales, they're all getting drugged down in the mire of the new bill that they're trying to put together. If you are not familiar with that, go check out my Bill 9 video or my Minatoya videos. You'll learn all about it. Land sales are also way down, 30% down in units and 50% in dollar volume. I think that's probably an indicator that right now, if you were to buy a lot on Maui, to get a permit to build because of the county backup with the fires and just their basic ineptitude of getting building permits done, it's over a year to get a building permit. So buying a lot to build has become a pretty unattractive path from what I'm seeing, and likely why our sales are so far down and so off in volume. But let's talk about South Maui, where I focus a lot of my energy in the Kihei, Wailea, McKenna area. So let's talk about that. So in South Maui, we're going to talk about three different districts: Kihei, Wailea, McKenna, and Maui Meadows. Now they're all Kihei, but they all, some of that is a resort district. The Maui Meadows are all half-acre lots, so there's no condos, and Kihei has a blend and mix of everything. So in Kihei, the sales dipped about 11%, but the dollar volume actually went up by about 20%. So that's really fascinating. So the homes in Kihei have escalated in value, although the sales quantity has gone down and the days on market has also gone up. So interesting space that we're in. For the median price, it's dropped about 1% for residential homes. So more expensive properties in Kihei are selling is what that's telling us. Then when we go to Wailea and McKenna, there's been a really significant slowdown in both residential and condo. And our residential is down 58% in dollar volume in Wailea, which would be the higher end, more expensive Wailea and McKenna, the higher end, more expensive properties, with a 23% dip in median sales. So we're definitely seeing the values of the homes that are selling in Wailea and McKenna coming down in this market. In Maui Meadows, it's interesting. There's been more sales, and we're up about 86% on the sale of homes. Now, there's only about 500 to 600 homes in the entire Maui Meadows district, so that's a small number, and it can be skewed pretty easily. But the good news is there's been more sales. The bad news is they're down. Median sales price was down 21%. So although there's good activity, the values are going down. On the condo side in South Maui, that's where it's really getting beat up. We've got 256 condo sales so far in 2025. That's down 32% over 2024. And the dollar volume cut nearly in half, down 51%. So really dramatic how much the Bill 9 has impacted the values along with the global economy that's impacting. The median condo price in South Maui is now $675,000, off about 13% year over year. So it's a tough market we're in right now, but what does that mean? If you're a seller and you don't need to sell, I would tell you to probably wait and see what happens. If Bill 9 passes and you own a residential condo, prices are probably going to go down because there's going to be so much more competition from all the condos that used to be vacation rental, and they're going to be basically converted into residential style condos. So that's a little bit scary. Now, Bill 9 has been limping along. The county council is moving very slow at getting it put through, but I do anticipate in the next 2 to 3 months we should have resolution, and I think that will stimulate the market in a positive way. At least people will know what to expect, and I think that's a good thing. I'm disappointed in the county council that they've been dragging their feet for so long and not putting this together, because all it has been doing is impacting the market, and it has stagnated the sales in the condo market. So that's disappointing. And I think that our mayor is doing a terrible job at being a mayor. But that's just my political insight. I don't know that anybody's going to argue with me that's watching this video. But if you do, post your comments below because I'd love to hear why you think he's doing a good job. What this means to you, well, quite honestly, if you're a buyer, this is an opportunity. We are in the trough, whether it's at the beginning of the end, or the bottom, I should say, or at catching back up. That is where I see us. It has not been this opportunistic of a time to be a buyer in Maui that I've ever seen in the past 25 years I've been here. In 2010 and 11, there were opportunities, but not quite like this. If a property is on the market, it's a good indicator that the seller wants to sell. And we are now realizing that sellers need to be motivated. And we are seeing a lot of negotiation when buyers are buying properties and going into escrow. So if you're thinking about buying a property in Maui, it's still the most beautiful place in the world. I know I'm dissing some things, but the politics will go away and they'll get figured out. It's still 82 degrees every day. The sun comes out almost every day here. The weather is beautiful. The water is beautiful. It is a tropical paradise. So if you're thinking about buying here, I will tell you, don't wait. Now is the time to buy. Give me a call. Let's talk about what you're searching for, what opportunity you're looking for, and I'd be happy to jump on a call with you and figure out how we can help and let you know what I think might be a perfect fit for you.